In nature, there are moments when all calculations disappear, and the outcome is decided in a matter of seconds. It's not the one who rushes in first, but the one who controls the pressure and distance who ultimately holds the advantage. When strength, instinct, and timing clash at the same point, what truly determines who stays and who must leave? A body over 3,000 pounds doesn't always maintain the upper hand when a lone hippo leaves the water. Its instincts rely on weight and bite force to control space. But on land, each step becomes heavier. The gaps become more apparent, so tension builds and leads to a sense of impending danger. It is from this perceived danger that the lionesses begin to spread out in an arc to observe, calculate, and coordinate. They maintain a safe distance but constantly pressure the hippo's direction of movement, forcing it to turn and react repeatedly until it is cornered and forced to run at full speed. In this cornered chase, the hippo is forced to rush back into the river and enter the water to maintain a safe distance. The lionesses stop at the river's edge and do not advance further. No one is killed, and there is no clear victory. The limits on both sides remain, and the balance of survival continues. On the vast grasslands of sub-Saharan Africa, where visibility is excellent but hiding is difficult, and water sources determine movement, lions rely on their incredibly strong forelegs to exert force when pouncing, their bites reaching approximately 650 pounds per square inch, and their claws retractable during attacks. This utilization of the open terrain and pressure from multiple directions gradually closes the distance between them and the buffalo herd, making safety impossible. As soon as the distance becomes unsafe, the lions maintain their positions around the downed buffalo, observing the remaining herd while coordinating their efforts to corner the buffalo. The buffalo herd returns to rescue the buffalo, repeatedly butting and threatening, forcing the lions to split and then close in rhythm. Each close approach shakes the situation, but the encirclement is maintained, creating a stalemate that is difficult to break. When the stalemate no longer offers an opening for reversal, the buffalo herd gradually retreats from the area. The lions retain their food and maintain control of the scene. There were no prolonged clashes beyond the limits, and no animals were seriously injured. The outcome was determined when the lion secured its prey and the buffalo herd was forced to leave. After the buffalo herd was forced to leave, it was evident that the open environment required close coordination from the lion, while the buffalo relied on collective strength to exert pressure. When the pressure was insufficient to reverse the situation, each side maintained its boundaries, and the survival situation remained stable. In the swamps, rivers, and freshwater lakes of Florida, alligators stay close to the water's edge, where visibility is limited and the water conceals their bodies. They live solitary lives, not in groups, and can lie motionless for hours observing their surroundings. This prolonged patience makes the area an easily identifiable and elusive approach point. From this elusive approach point, when an alligator gets close to a lion pride's food source, the lions immediately disperse to investigate, maintain distance, and observe the lion's reaction. When the alligator opens its jaws defensively, the lions simultaneously approach from multiple directions, maintaining constant pressure and forcing it to retreat towards the water. In this forced retreat, the alligator goes underwater to maintain its environmental advantage. The lions stop and retain their food with no significant injuries or actions exceeding the limits. The situation remains stable as each side stops at the correct position. From the way each side stops at the right position, the situation is determined by the environment and their habits. Crocodiles control in the water, lions control on land. Neither side maintains an advantage when leaving suitable conditions, and it is this clear limitation that keeps the state of survival stable. On the vast grasslands of sub-Saharan Africa, the long-distance visibility and few obstacles make any movement easily exposed early on, so hyenas maintain constant movement to facilitate long-distance pursuits. The pack is led by females with a clear hierarchy, tight coordination, and a rhythmic pressure-generating force. The synchronized movement closes the distance, forming a circle around a lion. As soon as the circle around the lion begins to close, the hyenas approach in rhythmic movements, harassing and changing direction to disrupt its stance. The lions held their position and signaled to their pride, while the encircling pack gradually closed in, applying pressure from multiple directions, leaving no stable gaps and forcing the hyenas to constantly shift positions. When the pressure reached a point where it could no longer be sustained, other lions appeared and counterattacked simultaneously, breaking the hyena formation and creating space. The hyenas lost their momentum and were forced to retreat, freeing the lions, and the pride regained control of the area. The outcome was determined when the hyenas could no longer re-establish the encirclement and had to leave. From the inability to re-establish the encirclement, it can be seen that the hyenas relied on numbers and coordinated attacks to exert pressure, while the lions relied on teamwork to reverse the situation. When one side lost its momentum, the situation changed rapidly, and the struggle for survival continued. In the African savanna, where wide grasslands allow for the detection of danger from afar and areas of sparse forest exist, rhinos maintain a direct line of motion in the open environment. Rhinos are highly sensitive to unusual signals, their primary reaction being a straight charge, without dodging, and exhibiting strong territoriality. The pace is relentless, distances are shortened step by step, and the situation quickly escalates to a point of confrontation. When the point of confrontation is near, the lion pride is forced to react immediately, spreading out to maintain distance but remaining within the area. Each time a rhino charges, the formation breaks in an instant. One lion holding the food is forced to drop it. The remaining lions quickly retreat and circle back. But the next surge follows immediately, creating continuous pressure with no respite. When there is no longer any room for pressure to ease, the rhino continues to push the lion pride further away from the area. The lions are forced to retreat, abandoning their food. There was no prolonged conflict, and no animals were seriously injured. The outcome was that the rhinos held onto the area and the lions left. On the open grasslands of Yellowstone, visibility is good, but the weather changes drastically between hot and cold. A buffalo, weighing between 450 and over 1,000 kilograms, stands in a vast space, its front shoulders thrust forward, its sharp, curved horns maintaining distance. When faced head-on, every step becomes precarious, and the distance narrows, no longer safe. Just as the distance becomes insufficient, an elephant suddenly accelerates, charging straight ahead and closing in almost instantly, without any probing. Before the buffalo can even turn, it is forced back step by step, each time it tries to maintain its position. The thrust increases, disrupting the surrounding formation, and the repeated pressure leaves the buffalo with no room to maneuver. With no room to hold, the buffalo is forced to retreat further from its original position. The elephant stops after a few close approaches and then leaves while the buffalo cannot return to its original position. There was no prolonged conflict, and no one was seriously injured. The outcome was determined when the elephant completely overwhelmed the buffalo and forced it to leave the area. Near large water sources, where there are bushes and pastures providing ample food and shelter, elephants maintain a stable rhythm in their familiar space. Normally, they are calm, well-controlled, and avoid collisions. But when threatened or needing to protect their offspring, their reaction becomes aggressive and unyielding. This change quickly closes the distance between the two males, pushing the situation straight to a confrontation. As soon as the distance narrows, the two male elephants charge at each other, using their tusks to push and twist to gain position. The younger elephant continuously presses, trying to force its opponent back, but the larger one maintains its balance, waiting for the right moment to counterattack with a powerful thrust, causing its opponent to lose balance and be forced apart. drastically altering the course of the confrontation. When the confrontation could no longer be sustained, the young elephant turned and retreated from the area. The larger elephant maintained its position and did not pursue further. There was no prolonged clash, and neither elephant sustained serious injury. The outcome was determined when the larger elephant maintained its dominant position and the young elephant left. In any confrontation, the deciding factor is not the first charge, but how each species controls distance, maintains the pace of pressure, and chooses the right moment to react. When the environment, instinct, and teamwork converge, the advantage lasts only a very short moment before being reversed. And that moment is the final line between holding the position or being forced to retreat. Even a small movement on the arid African landscape can instantly trigger an attack. A tiny honey badger, however, doesn't hesitate to confront opponents many times larger, from bees and snakes to top predators. Each encounter is a test of instinct, timing, and endurance. What allows a solitary animal to repeatedly enter dangerous situations without backing down? In the harsh lands of Africa and West Asia, the honey badger inhabits savannas, open forests, and the edges of arid deserts. It is not bound by a fixed environment, adapting flexibly and constantly on the move. Burrows, rock crevices, or abandoned nests become temporary shelters, helping it survive amidst harsh conditions and ever-changing food sources. Beneath its small exterior lies a tenacious and courageous nature. Honey badgers are solitary, nocturnal creatures that hunt insects, snakes, and honey. With powerful digging claws, venom resistance, and a fearless spirit, they are ready to confront larger enemies, turning each encounter into a true battle for survival. In dry forests and grasslands, snakes live solitary lives and move stealthily. They often hide under leaf litter or in low bushes, limiting their movement to conserve energy. A single meal can take several days to digest, and periodic shedding helps the body continue to grow. This survival method helps snakes maintain a stable state and avoid conflict most of the time. The change began when the honey badger appeared near the tree trunk, disrupting its secure position. It paused, observed, and then climbed in the direction the snake was moving, on the branches. The snake weaved through smaller twigs to maintain distance, but the honey badger's weight caused the branches to shake, constantly forced to change direction. The snake lost its grip and fell to the ground. As soon as it hit the ground, the honey badger immediately lunged down after it. The distance quickly shortened, forcing the snake to retreat to a narrow defensive position. The honey badger held its position, closing in and subduing its target in a short time. The snake became a food source after being completely controlled. Between dry grasslands and vast savannas, lions live in prides and control territory around water sources and pastures. They move in organized groups, often resting for much of the time and only becoming active when conditions are favorable. Lions do not attack randomly, but observe, wait for opportunities, and coordinate to separate their target from the pride. This calculated approach reduces risk and maintains hunting efficiency in familiar environments. In response, the honey badger, foraging for food, spotted the lion approaching and immediately moved away. The lion accelerated, closing the distance. Just as it was closing in, the honey badger stopped, turned around, and advanced straight towards its opponent. This sudden change caused the lion to pause, creating a brief pause between the two. Immediately after that pause, the honey badger closed in and maintained continuous pressure. The lion observed, kept its distance, and did not strike. When pressed so closely, it had to weigh the risks. After a moment of hesitation, the lion slowed down and left the area. The lion retreated when the risks outweighed the advantages.
Here comes another one. Here comes another one.
In grasslands, woodlands, and riverbanks, leopards are widely distributed and usually operate alone. They hide in the grass or low canopy, moving close to the ground and keeping their distance to avoid detection. They rest during the day and move at night searching for opportunities. This stealthy lifestyle helps them maintain control for most of the time. Even a slight movement on the grass was enough to reveal the honey badger's position as it spotted the approaching leopard. It stopped, turned, and maintained a short distance. The leopard accelerated, lunging forward with a pounce aimed at the shoulder. The honey badger reacted instantly, moving straight toward its opponent, deflecting the pounce and creating a brief standoff. During that standoff, the honey badger maintained pressure with short-range counterattacks. The leopard adjusted its position, but couldn't hold its initial advantage. After a few ineffective attempts, it reduced the pressure and retreated to avoid prolonging the risk. Leopards retreat when they lose control at close range. In the open grasslands of sub-Saharan Africa, such as the Serengeti, hyenas live in packs and move over wide areas. They use vocalizations to communicate and coordinate, clearly defining roles when approaching a target. This organizational structure helps them control the situation in the open environment until they encounter a target that is not easily surrounded. In the middle of a barren forest, a honey badger was foraging when it suddenly stopped. Noticing movement from multiple directions around it, it bristled, turned, and held its position instead of retreating. Soon after, 3 hyenas appeared and fanned out in different directions, advancing to investigate. The honey badger proactively counterattacked, constantly threatening to disrupt their coordination, causing the formation to gradually lose its cohesion. As the formation began to break apart, the honey badger maintained pressure with short strides and quick reactions at close range. The hyenas adjusted their positions, but failed to form a stable encirclement. After several attempts to gain a clear advantage, they reduced the pressure and retreated one by one to avoid risk. On dry lands and savannas, a tortoise moves slowly through the grass, its hard shell protecting its body. This slow pace reduces the risk of collisions and keeps it at a distance from danger. When necessary, the tortoise basks in the sun to regulate its temperature. The shell continues to shield it from various threats. This stable state is maintained for most of the time, until it is spotted. As soon as it's spotted, the honey badger approaches the tortoise from behind. It moves around its target, observing and maintaining a short distance. Then it increases its thrust, biting into the tortoise's shell, forcing it to shift position and disrupting its defensive rhythm. From this disruption, small gaps appear. The honey badger concentrates its force on these gaps, pressing continuously to prevent the tortoise from regaining its balance. The tortoise gradually loses its stability, fails to maintain its defenses, and becomes prey. A single beehive on a tree trunk can contain 20,000 to 60,000 bees. They are found in forests, grasslands, farms, and residential areas almost globally, except in the polar regions. In Africa, honeybees and wild bees are common, often nesting in trees or in hidden crevices. Though small, they are dangerous in numbers. When threatened, they can chase hundreds of meters and pose a risk to larger animals. This source of nectar is therefore a target for predators. From that target, the honey badger appears in the late afternoon. It observes, sniffs, and then climbs the tree trunk step by step. The bees swarm around it, but the badger continues to advance, using its claws to scratch open the wax as the distance narrows. When the distance is close enough, the wax is broken, even though the bees remain close and apply constant pressure. The honey badger opens the slit, takes the honey and larvae, and leaves the tree. The bees follow for a short distance, but are gradually left behind before the honey badger completes its objective steadily. The encounter ends when the honey has been harvested. Right at the water's edge in Africa's major rivers and lakes, crocodiles lie still, waiting for the right moment to strike. They move little, conserve energy, and can wait for hours for a single opportunity. Their hunting method relies on patience and timing, maintaining an advantage in familiar environments until an unexpected factor arises. As soon as the honey badger spotted the crocodile lying on the dry grass, it reacted. It stopped to observe, maintained its distance, and changed direction. The crocodile raised its head, opened its jaws, and lunged forward with a short burst of speed. The honey badger changed direction and stopped just in time, causing the first bite to miss its target and widening the distance between them. As the distance widened, the crocodile couldn't finish quickly and gradually lost its advantage on land. The honey badger circled around, closing in and withdrawing before its opponent could turn. After several unsuccessful attempts, the crocodile slowed down and returned to the water's edge. It retreated when it could no longer control the situation on land. It's not size or superior strength that gives honey badgers their advantage, but rather their tenacity, quick reflexes, and adaptability to pressure. Through each encounter, a clear principle emerges. Controlling the situation is more important than direct confrontation. This approach allows them to maintain the upper hand against a variety of opponents and sets them apart in their natural environment.